Undertale released 9 years ago now in 2015 and has been widely influential, with characters like Sans being everywhere. However, I think the part of Undertale that reaches the most people is its soundtrack, due to the fact that it's used so frequently in YouTube videos and is really diverse. In this video, I'm going to look at Undertale through the lens of music. But with all that said, subscribe and let's get into it. Undertale's opening sequence is a story about how humans forced monsters underground. It's accompanied by Once Upon a Time, which fits the scene perfectly. It's mellow and feels like a tale that your grandfather would tell. So let's take a look at the main melody. How does it sound so great in so many different settings? Well, I think one reason is the fact that it's based around the fifth. The fifth is quite a neutral note and therefore works in lots of different progressions. But hang on, if a melody uses only notes in the scale of the key, won't it always sound good? Well, musically it would make sense, but I think some work better than others. For example, if I play the fifth with every note as a bass note, here's how it sounds. And now if I try that with a 7, here's how that sounds. Different, right? In my opinion, this shows how the fifth works with a wider range of notes than the 7th. Whilst I could go through the game scene by scene, it would take forever and probably be quite dull for you, the viewer. So I'm going to use the A section of Once Upon a Time to summarise the OST. As mentioned previously, it plays 12 times throughout, and I'm going to be taking a look at 3 different examples, starting with Home. In my opinion, one of the things that makes Undertale's soundtrack so great is reoccurring themes. By this I mean musical ideas and melodies reappearing throughout the game. Home is my favourite song from Undertale. It suits the scene of a welcoming home and just sounds really nice. Whilst researching this video, I saw a lot of people saying that Home is played slightly out of time to convey an imperfect yet warm feeling. I tried to find an accurate musical term to adequately describe this, and whilst I saw someone calling it micro-timing, I think the correct term is rubato. Rubato refers to intentionally slightly slowing down or speeding up. I like the idea that it's playing with time. It's actually more noticeable in the B section of Home, so first let's just hear that same B section in Once Upon a Time. Now let's listen to it in Home, see if you can notice the rubato that I'm referring to. Honestly, I've only learnt about rubato whilst researching this video, so can't explain it as clearly as I'd like. With that said though, let's move on to track 87, Hopes and Dreams, and take a look at how Once Upon a Time's melody is used in yet another setting. Now I haven't talked about it much before, but a leading idea in Undertale is determination, and to me this song just embodies that. I mean, come on, it's playing whilst you're fighting the final boss where you literally cannot die. I mean, yeah, it's just great. I don't have much to say about it other than it's one of the songs that's used most frequently in YouTube videos. But with that said, let's move on to the final track of this little case study, as well as the entire Undertale soundtrack, called Good Night. Undertale resolves. The game's poetic in a way, starting with Once Upon a Time and ending with Good Night. Not only that, but it's the same melody played high up on a haunting yet peaceful sounding piano. I don't know, I just like it when things come round and form a lovely full circle. However, whilst this does sound lovely and poetic, whilst researching this video I actually found out that Goodnight doesn't play in the full game of Undertale at all. I'm pretty sure it only plays in the demo version, but it's not going to stop me from mentioning it because it sounds nice. Anyway, to end off this video, I thought I'd try and make a small section of a song in the style of Undertale, but before I do that, I'd like to give some honourable mentions to songs I didn't include. For this song I had in mind, I thought I'd set myself a brief, so here were the, I think, 3 points I gave myself. Point number 1 must include a leading original melody of my own in the style of Undertale. Point 2, it must suit this scene. A moment after a final battle where you just have a moment of quiet and peace just to reflect on your journey, I guess. That was the kind of idea. It was slightly limiting actually because a moment of quiet is quite quiet, so I didn't want to overload it, and so that's why the track's not particularly epic. But anyway, the third point was it must also include that first melody of Once Upon a Time, because I thought it'd be nice, because that's what Undertale does. It comes back, as I've said. So anyway, here's how my song turned out. If you did enjoy the video, please do subscribe. By the way, this is the first video documentary I've ever made, and I'm planning to make more. So yeah, here it is.